Yo, what is up, YouTube fam? In this video, I will be doing a wave cut, a low skin taper with a 1.5 all the way around, and I will be using the 2 guard on his crown to keep that a little bit thicker for him. I'm going to be showing you guys step by step how to achieve this haircut. Alright, so with every waver, you always want to comb out the hair. Don't ever brush the hair. You always want to comb out their pattern so it's easier for the guard to feed through the hair. And you always want to comb in the direction that they brush their hair. I noticed he have a swirl going on and his crown area is not a beehive, so that's why I combed it out in a circular motion. And we're just going to continue just combing out the hair the way he brushed it, lifting the hair off the scalp. Also, when I'm combing out his hair, I'm looking for any imperfections and I'm looking for cowlicks, and right away I noticed one right on his front hairline. So I'm going to throw on my detachable with the 1.5 guard, and I'm just going to take my time. I'm not trying to rush knocking down the hair. I'm trying to just do slow strokes, and I'm also cutting the hair the way he brushes his hair. You have to be very mindful when you are cutting a waver. If you go in the opposite direction that they brush their hair, you can damage their pattern. And I always go with the grain when I am cutting the waver. The only way I will go against the grain if the client requests it, but normally just go with the grain. And you can see I stayed away from the crown area. We are going to knock that down with a 2 guard because we want to keep that area a little bit thicker. And notice when I'm getting to his front hairline, I'm floating the clipper away because we are going to cut that with a higher guard as well, because remember, it's a crown in his front hairline. You see me stand away from the front hairline, and his waves is popping, man. Now we're going to throw on a 2, and you can see how I'm going in the same motion how his hair wants to grow. Remember, it was a swirl, so we have to cut it in a circular motion. This is a good way to keep the pattern nice and full. If I was to cut this down to a 1.5 in his crown area, it will look super light, and you basically destroying your client's pattern. Now you see me working on the cowlick area on the front hairline. So I put down my detachable and I put the 1.5 on my JRLs. The reason why my 1.5 plastic guard is not going to cut as much hair as my detachable 1.5 guard will. Now we're going to jump right into the back taper. So I threw on the 1 guard and I am open, and I'm just going down with the grain to smooth everything out. Now we're going to set in our first bald guideline, and we're going to keep this taper nice and low. We don't want to bring it up too high to mess up his waves. And I'm going up about a 1/2 inch, and you can see back here the hair is growing wild all over the place. To take this line out, we start close, we start to tap at the guideline. Once we see that guideline shift up, I will open up my lever 1 notch. Once I see that line shift up, I should be halfway in my lever and the line should be completely faded out. Now we're going to throw on the 1 guard and we're going to start close, and we're going up again about a 1/2 inch. And you can see how the hair is growing sideways. So that's the way I need to cut the hair to get the transition that I am looking for. You see me going over this guideline multiple times. Now to take this line out, I throw on the 1/2 guard and I start halfway in the lever, and I should be halfway in that guideline, and I'm going right through it. Once I see that transition lighten up, I will close my lever up 1 notch, and I'm going a little bit lower than I just was halfway in the lever. Now I'm going to close the lever up all the way, and I should be at the very bottom of the guideline. can see my transition is starting to come together. Now I throw on my 1.5 guard and I start open, and you see me scooping right out. I am not trying to create another guideline. Now you see me close the 1.5, and now I'm trying to go a little bit lower than I just was. And you can see how I'm scooping out. Now to take that line out, I throw back on the 1 guard and I start halfway. And this is where I start to feather out the line. And I'm doing a lot of lever play in this part of the fade just to get the transition that I'm looking for. So what I mean by lever play, depending on where I'm at in the fade, I might be halfway, or I might be close, or I might be all the way open just to get this line out. So to help you guys understand more, if I am higher in the fade, I need to be all the way open with the lever. If I am halfway in the fade, I need to be halfway with the lever. And if I am at the bottom of the guideline, then I should be all the way closed. All right, to clean up the remaining line, I threw on the Babyless 0.5 guard using the corner of the blade, and I am halfway in the lever, and this should take out the remaining line for me, and this should complete my transition. Anything else after this, it will be considered detail work, and we're going to come back and do that after the cut is complete, when I have everything all lined up so I can see everything a lot better. Alright, so on this side, as you can see, I did not have my camera in focus. So this side is completely blurry. But the other side, we're good on that side. So I would explain to you guys how I did this low taper on the other side. So I just sped things up and just flew right through it. And it's been a while since I really tapped in with my supporters. And I just want to know, man, everybody that support me, everybody that rock with me, drop a comment and let me know what city you guys cut in and how long y'all been cutting hair, man. That's something that I really want to know. And I do read all comments and I do respond back to everyone. So if you guys can just do that for me, man, drop a comment, let me know where y'all from and how long y'all been cutting hair. So I set in my first bald guideline with my saber at the bottom of his C-cup. Then I come back with the foil shaver to ball him out for another transition. Then I come back with my JRL with the lever open, going up about 1/2 inch because this is a low taper. To take this guideline out, I start closed and I start to tap at the line. Once that line shift up, I will open up my lever 1 notch. Once that line shift, I will be halfway in my lever and I should be at the very top of the guideline. If the line does not come out, I just go back and repeat the same exact steps. Then I come with the 1 guard close. And you can see where I'm trying to stop right at the shore where his waves end. I'm not trying to cut his waves out, but I'm trying to make a transition going into his waves. Then I come back with the 1/2 guard and I start halfway. Once it lighten up for me, I will close my lever up 1 notch and go a little bit lower. Then I will close the lever up all the way and go at the very bottom of the guideline. Then I'm going to throw back on my 1 guard close, and I'm just going to hit all them overhanging hairs on his neckline, and I'm going to come down with the grain to try to lighten up that transition. Now I'm going to throw on the 1.5 guard, and you see me like taking my time, but I am scooping right out, just trying to create a little bit of a transition going into them waves. So I start open and then I close. Then I come back with the 1 guard open, just trying to make a little transition going into the waves. It's not going to be perfect fade into the waves, but you can make it look like you have some fade action going into the waves. Now I'm going to take the guard off and I'm going to go no guard open using the corner of the blade, just trying to lighten up my transition. This is where I really like to do my detail work. And you can see, since I have the clipper slanted, I can go a little bit higher in the fade. Now if I was to close the lever up all the way, I cannot go as high. I would destroy the fade. So if I'm closed, I need to be at the very bottom. Now we're going to come back with some holding spray, sprayed on his front hairline. and I'm going to spray it on his neckline as well. And I'm going to come back and blow dry everything in place and on cold air so I can freeze the hair. If you was to blow dry this on hot air, it would basically make the client sweat. So that's why you want to use cold air. And we're going to line up around the neckline. We're just going to take our time. Make sure you have the air folded back so you can give him a nice, clean, sharp line going around the ear. Not trying to push him back, just trying to keep everything nice and natural. And watch when I line up his C-cup, man, how everything just pop. It's crazy when you line someone up, everything just pop out. And this is how I like to line up my C-cup. I start right at the bottom of the vertical bar and right at the bottom of the C-cup. And now once I make my reference point A and reference point B, I just draw in the number C. Take my time and try to make a nice crispy letter C. And now look how much the taper just popped out. I like to comb everything. Every line that I make, I like to go over it at least twice, just to make sure I have everything nice and crispy. And look at that. Clean. Now we're going to go to the other side and do the same exact thing. I'm going to start on the neckline. Trying to keep everything nice and natural, not trying to push nothing back. Fold down the ear just to give him that nice, sharp, natural loop going around the ear. And these trimmers are smacking, man. And this is a trick for you guys to make your vertical bar symmetrical. I line the comb up to the other one and I bring it to the other side to make sure that my vertical bars are nice and even. We're gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna make my reference point A at the bottom of the vertical bar. Then I'm gonna come at the bottom of the C cup. And now you can just see where you have to connect the dots. Just literally draw in that number C, man. And this cut is coming together. That low taper mix blurry. And y'all already know I'm gonna come back and detail this taper some more to give it some more pop. Now we're gonna turn the client around and you can see how everything is lining up. Now we're going to line up his vertical bar, and he have a smaller vertical bar, so you see how I'm stretching the skin down so I won't make a split in his eyebrow, just to line up that vertical bar for him. Now I'm just going to pull the comb up to see how much room I have to work with. And we're going to plant right in the middle. We're just going to take our time, not trying to dig into the waves. And all that hair that you see, man, that's all just overgrown hair. So you are okay to take that hair off. Just make sure you are checking the hairline to see where it actually starts by lifting up the hair before you start cutting. Because if you don't do that, you can possibly push your client back. And a lineup is something that you never really want to rush. And now I'm just going to line up the other side. Just going to go right back to the middle for my balance. And try to make this edge up straight as possible without pushing anything back. Now we're going to put some color enhancements on them with the Beam Team compressor with the no drip, and I believe I am using the Onyx Black. And I'm spraying like not directly on the hair. I'm kind of like spraying on the card and letting it mist on to the hair. You can see how I'm spraying like on the card and letting it mist right on the hair. This is how I like to apply my enhancements. Really not too much, just enough to enhance the cut. And this thing is looking clean. Now we're going to come back and do some detail work. See me detailing up the taper with the no guard open, just to make that thing pop out and give it that extra blurry. We're going to come to the other side and do the same exact thing. That's clean. Then we're going to use the razor to bring everything together, sharpen everything up. Just detailing up this cut. And this was a fun cut, man. This was a real fun cut to do. I enjoy these cuts. Now we're going to use my shears with the curve on there, just to take away all them flyaways that I see that's standing up. You know, try to just get the cut some more detail. And this is how my guy came in looking. I think he went like 2 months without a cut. He needed it. And this is how he came out looking, man. Thanks everyone for watching. You know, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, bro.
All right, YouTube, that is how you do a wave cut with a 1.5 with a low skin taper. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's your boys More Fades, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
And I'm out, ya.